Hello.
Hello.
Um,
What what a time it's been
dude, it's been
this past
a
week.
week.
Um yeah, so like a little bit of reference point here. When we hit the stop recording button on the last rankings, Ross was like definitely going home, and the talk of a flip had just like the
Mhm.
first few texts were sent, and they were to Julia and Caitlin, and they were like maybe. Like that was the extent of what we saw. Well, minutes after, the world turned upside down and turned upside down. Sure. And Anthony and Aaron launched a full-on flip. Got Bella on board, who was going to keep Ross anyway. Got James on board. They needed one more vote. They reached out to Maeve. Maeve was like, maybe, but let me talk it over with my number one, Alex. Alex was like, no, no, no. He's nominated me twice. He's been going after Juliana. He'll not, like, this is just a bad idea, especially over Emma, who has talked to all of us and we trust more.
Yeah.
So then they didn't like it and they told Reza, who then told Caitlin and Julia, and now they're a tight group. And it's all up until this point, which we'll talk about how it's affected this week, led to a whole bunch of hypocrisy. And that's the big no with me. So we'll get there.
This is gonna be a tough week because I don't think anybody's in a pretty good spot right now.
And this is what's crazy because no one is actually, I disagree that no one is safe because I'll get there.
No,
But
I have maybe
we are about to enter a double eviction.
exciting.
And literally, I think anybody could go home. Some more likely than others, but literally no one is safe. And that's what's crazy. So let's just jump into it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get my sorry. Let me pull this spreadsheet up here. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted today. Okay. So our first person is Maeve. Maeve
Maeve
finished with a where is she? An eight and
finished
a
with an eight
half.
and a half. Yes. Maeve got a 9 from me and an 8 from Steven.
Okay. So I'm looking at like she was definitely in a better position than she last week than she is right now, considering she now has Anthony and Aaron against her. I don't think Bella's too keen of her. Um, yeah. What are you looking like you have something to say?
I think I agree that Anthony and Aaron against her. Bella, though, granted, it was because of the deal. Like, I think Bella does stick to that deal and not nominating Maeve.
I think
I
she
think she
does.
still goes after Maeve's allies, but I think for the next week or two, like, Bella is safe with Maeve.
I think she sticks to the deal not because she wants to keep Maeve safe, but because she made the deal so that she could be protected this week, and now she feels like she has to honor him back. But I don't feel like she is honoring it because she wants to keep Maeve safe. If
No,
that,
exactly.
um,
But, like, I feel like Bella wouldn't target Maeve this next week or
but
whatever.
we've been talking for weeks how we want Maeve to be the one to take James out. I mean, I would love tonight if it tied and Maeve broke the tie, but I mean, it's not going to happen. It's probably going to be unanimous tonight.
It's gonna, yeah.
It's kind of hard to watch too, but oh, let me put week. Okay, week 10. I gave her an 8 last week.
Give her an 8. Yep.
I mean, okay, so here's my thinking. I would. I'm going to go down to a 7 because I would go down to a 6 because I don't think she's. I think she could be very likely going in the double eviction, to be very honest. Um, but she did. She won HOH and she got out her target, even though some things were a little wonky this week. So I will go to a 7.
Yeah. I think on the overarching whole, Maeve had a good week because when she won HOH, there was no one that she really could put up that wouldn't anger some. She had to upset someone. People may be mad that they were the ones to be upset by, but naturally you're getting out of this week with an enemy or two, with an added enemy or two anyway. So, um, with that being said, I think, yes, people are mad at Maeve, but in terms of how people are talking about the nominations for next week, what we know to be the double, is anyone that's targeting Maeve plans to put her next to Juliana, and I think Juliana goes over Maeve.
I think she does too.
And if say Juliana wins the veto, they're gonna put up Alex. Does Alex go over Maeve? That is a much closer vote because I think Julia and Caitlyn and Juliana would want to keep Alex, and so does Reza. I think so. Like maybe in that scenario, Maeve does go. But I think she's not. Just despite making more enemies, she's not in the worst position on her side. She is in a little bit of a cautious position, so I am going to go down to a 6. But that's still a 6 or above is a positive score in my opinion. 5 is neutral, 4 is like and then 3 to lower is bad. So that is a 6.5 average.
Okay, so that puts Maeve at a 6.5 for the week. And unfortunately, Maeve has gone down from last week, but I don't think.
But that's not surprising. Like it's hard to be HOH and I think move entirely up because you're going to be making an enemy no matter what you do.
Yeah.
She's still on the higher. Like if you look at where people are at, she's on the very much the higher end of things.
Yeah.
Still.
Emma finished with a 4.5 last week.
Mm-hmm.
I gave her a 5.
You gave her a 5. I gave Emma a 4.
Okay. I'm going to make a very hot take here. And I am going to say that I think Emma is doing better than Julia is right now. And I think she's playing better than Julia is. Which is like, I guess isn't that hot of a take. Since like, I don't know. I just feel like the notion is that Emma's always the one that does nothing. And like Julia is like the silent killer or something. I don't know. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Julia is slowly starting to drop out of it. And I feel like if it weren't for Caitlyn, I feel like she would be kind of irrelevant right now. But Emma's like making new bonds with people. She's made that group chat with Aaron and Bella, which I think those 3 could actually like go pretty far together. And there's always people are willing to put her on the block and like sacrifice and lose her, which is not good. But there's people that are like, yeah, I'm keeping you. Like Caitlyn and Julia, I think, will keep Emma over some other people. Maybe even people like Reza or Juliana. I think they would keep Emma over them, to be honest. I think I'm gonna go up to a 6 this week on Emma. I want her to. I would love for her to win HOH and take out like. I would love for her to put up like Juliana and. I don't know who the other one would be. Alex, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. I think that's a very hot take on Emma. If I'm being quite honest, I think Julia is playing a far better game. How many of the texts have you read this week or like recently?
Like what? Like I've read all of them. I've been sifting through.
Okay. Because I mean, like I'll talk to this more when we get to Julia, but I do have some thoughts there. Emma is someone. I mean, she's on the block again, so like, how much farther up can we go? I don't know.
She was also like the 4th nomination. Like
not to say that.
Yeah.
It's necessarily her fault, but like she is viewed that way. I still see, like, I honestly don't see a way that Emma can win this season.
But I don't see her going home soon.
I don't see her going home soon either, but that's not necessarily, like, I'm like, as we reach the end, I'm scoring off of not only how likely are you to go home, but also off of win equity.
But to be fair, I don't see Julia winning against anyone besides Emma.
I agree with that at this time.
So it's like,
so like I have to go off of how we're playing, how she's playing too, and it's just like Emma. She has recently reached out to Bella and Aaron, but those are 2 people that she had anyway. Like they weren't gonna turn on her unless like maybe they were up on the block against each other. So it's like,
sorry, wait, this is a question. Did Aaron tell Anthony about this 3 something?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think this is like I think she's starting to break away from him. To be honest,
I disagree with that.
the
I
fact
think
that she's doing stuff without telling him is actually like it's like the first time this has happened this season.
I don't know. I feel like she does. Like if it comes up, I think Aaron will say it. But
Yeah. All right.
like I
So
don't think there's a reason to
you
yet.
can vote.
Emma. I mean, I think she is more safe next to James than she was Ross, and we'll get to why when we talk about James. And I do think, like over these past, from the Luke eviction to the Ross eviction to now this one, she has been on an upward trend of like, you see the fire starting to start more, but like it's still like a kind of fire. It's a weak fire. So I was at a 4 last week. I said, I mean, I guess I'm being a hypocrite here, but like this is our show, so whatever.
Do what you want.
Like last week I said the highest you can get if you're on the block is a 3, unless you're Emma, in which case you get a 4. Or a Grace
I disagree with that, to be honest. I don't think that's a good rule.
yeah, I know. I
But
disagree
you
with
have
it
your own
now.
system. Like you do. What you do.
But like I am gonna go up, but I'm gonna go up to a 5 because
That's fair.
a 6 for me is like a baseline positive score, and I don't feel positively about Emma yet.
Okay.
I feel like just flat out neutral. So putting Emma at a 5.
Still going up though. Yay. Okay. James Bull was at.
Can we look at his line?
Yeah. So it looks like he's going. Starts at a 7, which is pretty good to start at. Then he has the first peak of the entire game at an 8.5. He's the first person to get an 8.5 score. Then he plummets and kind of flatlines around a 5 a little bit. And I think his line. No, he goes down. Is this him?
No. He's down. Keep going over.
He's right here.
Down.
Oh, is that him right here?
It's this. It's the one right below.
Yeah, it's the dark green.
Emma's line going up.
Yeah.
It's the one below Emma's.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That one. He's at a 4.
Looks like he goes. Wee.
And yeah, he's at a 4 right now.
We both gave him 4s last week. Yeah. So, but I think that's funny though because I feel like before he didn't really like. I mean, he was in danger, obviously, but he didn't even realize that he was on the bottom until he tried to flip for Ross, and couldn't.
I have thoughts.
Why? What? Like what?
No. Just not about what you just said.
Yeah.
Just like
I mean,
I'm
like
ready for my.
Yeah. This is obviously not a very good week for him. He's very clearly going home. I'm very happy that Maeve is the one to do it. I think Maeve is right in saying that like James has gotten a little too like he thinks he's better than everyone else in the game, and I think that she's right. And I think like honestly, it was great seeing him again, but like I'm kind of ready for him to go. I feel like he's kind of stopped giving us stuff. And he stopped kind of doing stuff until he realized he was in danger. Let me see. I want to see my other scores for people, but I guess I can't. That's Bella. That's Juliet. I am going to go down to a 2 for.
Alrighty.
But I mean, not to say that I still think James is one of the best players that we've ever had.
Oh yeah. Before I get into that, on the overarching whole, James has fully backed up that even if season 4 was full of great players, that he still could have and would have done very, very well. And he has like keep in mind this is an all-star season. We're dealing with very good players.
Yeah.
So because James got taken out does not take away the fact that James is an amazing player.
The fact that he even got here is amazing.
The fact we expected him to be
the fact that his line goes all the way up
the
here.
fact that he got a 9 is incredible. We expected him to be boot 1 or 2, and now he's at least 3rd member of the jury.
Yeah.
But now for this week. So James's problem is way overconfidence in thinking that he is the best. Because you hear the way that he talks in the diary room sometimes, or we'll just talk in like alliances, and just talks about how like, oh, like he has like a complete control in the game. He's aligned with everyone, and like that's great and all. But like when you look at someone like Anthony, and this is not at all my reflection on Anthony at the moment, but like Anthony is someone who plays a very similar game to James, but is always like, oh, but this person can be coming after me. Oh, but this person can be coming after. And like Anthony never, even if Anthony does think he's the best, he's always cautious and paranoid and thinking. Whereas James, I think you really saw it in these past couple weeks, was coasting because he thought he was comfortable. And now, like you said, he didn't even realize he was on the bottom until the Ross up failed. I still don't think he realizes that he's on the bottom
until he was put up.
I still think he doesn't know, because
I don't think so.
I think he knows he's going home, but he doesn't think he's on the bottom. He thinks that this is Maeve made a move, and he's just getting screwed from his great position. Because in the way that like, the way that like he's still like talking to Anthony and Aaron is like, yeah, and Caitlyn and Julia are so mad at this move. So like they're still allies, and you guys are still my allies. And Alex and Juliana said they didn't. So like they're not gonna keep me, and they're just dumb. Like honestly, why are they taking out their number one ally that was never gonna turn on them? It's like, newsflash, James, you're putting those words in their mouths. You're not their number one ally, because their games are far more complex, and they've been working to get away from that because they know that's how you think and see them. I just hate so much that it's like James, I feel like all through season 4 has clipped people that have thought that like James is my number one. Oh, but then James is going to cut them. James thought these people were his number ones, and they're cutting him, and he's not taking too kindly to it. I'd love to say that James is like, damn, good move, guys. I'm going to fight to stay, and if I stay,
I mean, it's hard. It's hard though. Like,
and to be fair, like these are some of his best friends. Don't get me wrong, it is tough, but like
it's also, this is a 35-day journey.
Yeah. No, it's very much a double-edged sword here, and he's not really viewing the other side that this is possibly a good move for me or Alex or Juliana, because all he's talking about now is how dumb this was, and how he's not going to vote for them.
I think that he'll.
I'm hoping something comes around.
I'm sure the members of the new members of the jury.
You had your turn.
Well, you comment on my turn all the time.
I know. I interrupt all the time.
No, we got to keep moving though.
But James, not only like even so now, like, has spent all of his time complaining to Alex and Maeve how this is a dumb move, rather than putting full force into campaigning. And he really has a zero shot to stay before that, and even after that. For the first time since Dan's eviction, I think I am going to go down to a 1. And that breaks my heart, because like, again, James is a great player, but like this has just been coming for a while now.
I don't think I would personally go that low, but I mean, to each their own, I guess. And yep, teams go down to a 1.5. Also, I did want to say before I forget this, after James leaves, this will officially be 5 duos. It'll be Alex and Maeve, Reza, Juliana, Anthony, Aaron, Bella, Emma, and Caitlyn and Julia. It'll be 5 solid duos. Not like there's some lines that switch. There are 5 duos that are mostly loyal to each other before anyone else, which is this double eviction is gonna be.
The only one that I would say maybe isn't true is I think Juliana and Reza are both loyal to Alex over each other, which I kind of find funny. They're the only ones where I think that line gets a little blurred.
So now moving on to Alex.
Yes.
Finished with an 8.5 last week too. Alex has, I think, kind of blown up his position since last time we talked.
He's done a lot of mending and fixing in some places.
Wait, so I gave him an 8, and you gave him
I gave him a 9.
Yeah.
How I would describe these past, from last ranking to this ranking for Alex, is he spent a lot of good time like fixing and mending some alliances, and then like dropped a nuke on some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Definitely
precarious position he's in.
Very precarious. That's a great word.
Miss Cook, if you're watching. Yeah, so I guess it's my turn. Did we know what happened last night when he was talking to Anthony? I didn't really understand what was happening.
Oh, Anthony was like coming at him with like listen, we'll get to Anthony when we get to Anthony.
Yeah.
But he like Anthony was like, "This is dumb for you, just so you know." I mean, like, I know you wouldn't know that because you're just gonna listen to whatever people tell you. And like Alex texted me zero, I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, you don't get to do that. You don't know
Okay,
what
yeah. So Alex, I put him at an 8 last week. Um, See, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, who is in a better position in my mind, Maeve or Alex?
That's where I'm confused too.
And my mind first goes. My gut tells me Alex, because you're right. He does have Juliana and also Reza. But it's not that. I think I'm also. This is tough. I'm. Oh. Because I wonder who Anthony and Aaron target. Do you think it's Maeve or do you think it's like. I think it's
Anthony
Juliana
and Aaron
first.
both said if they win HOH, that Maeve and Juliana will be their nominations. With, I think they target Juliana.
But I think if it's Alex and Juliana, Alex has a better chance of going home. Or, I'm sorry.
I
Sorry.
agree.
I meant Julia. This is just I meant it's Alex and Maeve.
It's so tricky.
I think I don't want to give Maeve a 7 and Alex a 6, if that makes sense. So I think I'm gonna go with a 7.
Yeah, I
I
view
think
them.
they're in a very similar boat right now.
I'm gonna give Alex a 6 because I gave Maeve a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see like the question of who's in a better position, Maeve or Alex, I think is so dependent on the person. Because I think like Emma and Anthony and Aaron are for sure votes for Alex to go.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think like Caitlin and Julia and um like Reza would even be votes for and Reza would be votes for Maeve to go. And Juliana would be a vote for Maeve to go. But Bella would be a vote for Alex. Like I think it's very evenly split. And if they are the final nominees, it's gonna like it could be a tie for all we know. Like I think they're very evenly
Well,
matched.
it can't be a tie.
I'm saying like at some point in the future.
Oh.
Um they are very evenly matched. I think Maeve is more likely to go up, but it's less likely to be targeted. So like it's so precarious and weird and wishy washy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him a nice
Okay.
bottom of the positive rankings.
So Alex also goes down to a 6.5, which is still fairly high. Or yeah, 6.5, which is still fairly high.
It is still very high.
For
Yeah.
this week. This week is going to be a lot of people are going to go down a lot. So, with that being said, moving on to Anthony, who last week finished with a 7.5.
I knew I went against my better judgment, raising my score.
Well, here's the thing. I think last week he was fine. I was at an 8 and you were at a 7.
I wasn't going to lower my score, but I'm mad at myself for going up.
I was at an 8 and you were at a 7.
Yeah.
I don't regret going up because I think, like we said, a lot has changed since our last rankings. I don't even think we knew Anthony and Aaron were going to flip yet. I can't remember.
We knew they wanted to keep Ross, but we didn't think that they'd have.
We didn't know what happened. This was not a very good week.
I think this is the worst week for Anthony in the history of his entire game.
Yeah, me too. First, I think it was bad that when he knew he was going to get nominated, he kind of blew himself up when it was going to be James going all along, unless like James won the veto. Even still, like I don't think the nominations were going to stay the same at all if it was Anthony and Aaron on the block together. So yeah, he was not going to go. But then some people were like, should we just do Anthony before the nominations happened? He got very lucky. I mean, he's not lucky. He campaigned for himself to get the power. And it was very lucky that, I mean, people are saying that the power is OP, but like the 3 votes could have easily have changed with like if Luke got it, he could have easily stayed that week.
Could have easily stayed.
Bella used the power just right to save herself.
This power is OP in like one scenario, and it just happened to be this one.
Yeah. Like if Alex got it, like Alex was the person with the second most amount of votes. Like if Alex got it, like nothing would have happened this week. So that happened. Anthony, I think Anthony is a lot of people's number one targets right now, which is not good.
Not even for game purposes, but because how he's acting.
And also, I'll say this too. We said this about Bella. I don't like a lot of the things he's saying, and I don't think they're good. But also, I feel like this is just Anthony being like,
It's exactly that.
like he's not actually like. I'm not trying to defend it, but like he doesn't actually like mean these things. And like I also do think that besides, apart from some select few things that he says, I like think they're funny. Like I think he's funny. It's not it's not anywhere near good for his game, but like I think it's entertaining and funny. But that's just how like that's how Anthony is. Like that's like he just goes off and like he doesn't really mean what he says. And also he was like high on gas too during the I don't know. He said he didn't remember the nomination ceremony. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, obviously I have to lower my score for Anthony. I'm only gonna go down. Well, not only. I'm going down a lot, but I'm only gonna go down to a 5.
Okay.
Is that too high? You think?
I'm going lower.
But I'm only gonna go down to a 5 because I think that if some people win HOH, I think if some people win HOH, he's safe. It's one the house versus the other at this point.
Yeah, no, exactly. I just worry for Anthony because yes, like if some people win HOH, he's safe, but that's true for everyone. Where it's like if you look at like Alex, Maeve, and Juliana, I think it's a toss up over like which one of those people is targeted. If the larger side of the house wins HOH, Anthony's the target point blank and the period.
Well, going into the double, it's gonna be Anthony, Bella, Aaron, Emma versus
Caitlyn, Julia, Reza, Juliana, and Alex.
Yeah.
So it's 5-4.
What's the competition again?
Pipe Dreams, Flow.
Oh, I'm wondering who could be good at this.
I
think Caitlyn could be good at this.
Oh my god, Caitlyn Powell is gonna win HOH.
You think so?
It's a puzzle comp.
I mean,
if Caitlyn wants to win, like she would have won this comp in season. I think this
we can talk about when we get to her too, because I wonder what.
I would love for her to win.
All right, but yeah, you give your thoughts on anything.
Yeah, I am going down to a 3. Just it's a combination of like there is like Anthony before like acknowledges when he's being a hypocrite, but when he acknowledges it, like he's always been like a funny hypocrite where it's like he'll say these things and be like, oh, I'm such a hypocrite, but like he's sincere. Like I just hate, and it's the same thing as James where it's like if they make a move to blindside someone, it's great and a good move, but if someone does it to them, it's a horrible move for them. And like the other thing is like Anthony's like to Alex, like, why didn't you flip on Ross? Just because it's a bad move for Juliana. You're like obsessed with her. And it's like, well, you're telling me that you wouldn't not flip a vote if it was bad for Aaron? Like Alex is protecting his allies as you would do the same. So don't double standard it.
But it's also like we can talk about this when we get to Juliana too. Like yeah, we'll talk about this when we get to Juliana. Juliana's also being super hypocritical. Like,
oh, don't get me wrong, we're getting to Juliana.
Yeah, okay, but I won't cover it. Are you done with
getting there? Yeah, no, it's like it's just Anthony is not at all acknowledging the fact that this is possibly a good move for Alex or Maeve.
Yeah, and I think that's annoying.
And he's saying like he really just made an enemy out of like 3 people. It's like, well, you're gonna have enemies in the game. Just because the enemy is you doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Because newsflash, everyone else is on his side. So like,
I hope that he can turn it around though. I really want him to.
Oh, I don't want Anthony gone. I'd love for him to turn it around too. But as far as gameplay and how he's acting and how he's going into the double, it's a 3 for me at least.
We'll see.
Average of 4.
All right, so Anthony averages a 4, drops a lot from 7.5 to a 4.
I'm excited for this next one. Bella Deshays.
All right, she was at a 5 last week.
Bella Deshays.
Okay. I think this was a lot of Anthony's move too. But Anthony told Bella about his power, and he was like, "Go make a deal with Maeve that she won't put you up." And Bella goes to Maeve. Bella's like, "Well, like." Maeve's like, I'm not going to put Bella up this week. So like, why wouldn't I make a deal with her? So like, because I'm going to put up Anthony and Aaron and worst case scenario, James, or like best case scenario, whatever. And so she's like, yeah, Bella, like I'll make a deal with you. Like if I'll get safety out of this and I practically don't have to change my plan at all. But like, like that was such a smart move to me. Like, I think that was the reason why she didn't go up. I think it would have
Oh,
been.
it was absolutely. She
Yeah, I
would have
think
been
it
going
would have
up.
been James and Bella. Um.
Well,
So
I think it would have been Emma and Bella with the James backdoor still.
I
Because
don't.
the plan was always backdoor James.
But I don't know if she would have gone that far because that's two more people she's pissing off.
Maybe.
But like, who knows? It would have been spur of the moment. Who knows? But like, Bella's in a lot of danger this week if she didn't do that, and I think that was a really smart move on her part. And also like I knew this was gonna happen. I kind of wanted it for Ross to advance, but I knew that once one of them was out, like the other one like was probably gonna go a little further and advance.
Not many people are looking at Bella as the
But
target.
like, yeah, I think Bella's actually sitting in like a perfect spot, like a really good
There is
spot in the middle.
one person that I think goes after Bella, and I think it's Reza.
She's like sitting pretty in the middle. Like I think Bella and Emma actually could flip to either side, which is interesting. And
I wouldn't go quite that far, but I think they are in a.
I think they could leave Aaron and Anthony in the dust if they needed to.
If they needed to, yes. I feel that way about someone else.
Yeah, but we'll see. Bella, it's still only not even a week after Ross was evicted, but she's not being looked at. I think she's fairly good. I hope she doesn't go home in this double. I want her to be around. I would love for Bella to win, actually.
I would love to see Bella win.
But I would also love for like any of these people to win. To be honest,
I won't say any people, but I will say most of these.
A vast majority, I would love for them to win.
Yes.
Like that. Like what a great name to have as the winner of Big Brother.
Bella would be a great name.
I would love it because she deserves. Like we said this in like week 3, she deserves it so much after 3 seasons.
People always talk about how big of a target she is, and whether they go after her or they let it slide, she makes it to the end game every single time. If she in this double, she's already in what I would consider phase 3 out of 4 of the game.
I am not going to go up too much because it's still early.
I agree with that much,
but if she continues on this path, I will go higher. I'm going to go with a 7 for right now.
Mm-hmm. I was debating. For me, I was at a 5 last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was debating going down to a 4 or going up to a 6, and eventually settled at a 5. I think this week proved that I should have gone up to a 6 last week. But again, it was very dependent on power. So I'm also gonna go up to a 7, but it is a shaky 7 because, I mean, like in all honesty, maybe it's not that shaky because again, I don't think anyone except Reza targets.
I hope Reza doesn't win, and I wonder who played this competition, Juliana and Reza.
As far as HOH.
Yeah, this was season 4.
This is only season 4. Maeve is the only one to play it, and Maeve and James are the only ones to play it.
And
Maeve
going. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
This will be a new comp for everyone.
So Bella this week goes up from a 5 average to a 7 average. So far in the lead right now.
She is all over the place. Wow, that's
interesting. She really is. What's her? It is probably the most all over the place.
So she started down at the 4.5 mark. No, she started down there. Then she went up to like 7.5.
And then she follows.
She stayed there.
Oh yeah, she stays here.
And then she plummeted down that orange line all the way down to a 2. That's Grace week right there.
This is then back up
on the David week. Then she went back down because she was going home. Then she came back into the game and has been on the uphill.
And then uphill, yeah. It's kind of crazy.
I would like agree with this. Bella's first eviction was like, Bella, go home, you're done.
Yeah.
It's coming back. I feel like the way she's acted and played and everything has changed, and like this is the Bella that I love to see.
Yeah.
Again, I think it really is. We love Bella the underdog.
It's that, and it's also like it proves time and time again how like amazing it is to see like our average friends like come into this game who didn't know what it was and like just like be amazing at it. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I'm very excited to see where Bella goes. Hopefully it's far. Okay, next is Erin. Erin last week. I hate these lines.
Erin was at a 5.
5.
Even for you.
And a what for me?
A 7.
So she should have finished at a 6.
Which I think she did.
Oh, right. She goes up here.
Yeah.
It's covered. Okay, that's really annoying. Okay, so she finished at a 6 last week. Obviously, I have to go lower my score on Erin too because I will not. I think she's in a better position than Anthony.
by far, for sure.
Um,
Because there was a difference. Aaron, like, if you looked at like their little house meeting thing, Aaron's
everyone's
history
like polite.
was like
Polite.
Aaron memeing the season because
Yeah.
Aaron wanted to throw a curve. Like she wanted to do this week one, I feel like. And this is like Aaron memeing the season. She was polite. She was like, "Attention, everyone! I'm being nominated." Like
Yeah.
it was like a funny house meeting. Let's just make everyone aware. Anthony's was like, "I'm annoying. It's a
Yeah.
bad."
Yeah.
It's like there's a big difference there. No
And
one's
I think Anthony and Aaron still go on the block together, but I think Anthony goes home.
Where
in
it's
a
like a
situ-
toss up between if it's
in a
me or
scenario.
Alex. It's like Anthony goes home, Aaron stays. That's
Yeah.
not a question.
I'm gonna go down to a 6. Because it's still like ridiculous that she's like the best winner of all time, and she's like, look, like nobody's. She's the only person never to be nominated in the season, which is ridiculous. I think she now. I'm trying to think. Who is on the leaderboard of all time who is at the least votes? I know Aaron has 2.
No, the least votes is currently
Caitlin, is it Caitlin Spillane?
James, who is going to be out of it.
Not James. James out. Yeah.
Maeve, Juliana, Caitlin Spillane.
And I think, yeah. Okay.
Aaron, I think, is at like 3.
Yeah, Aaron's at 3 with 2 votes.
She had
Right.
one. She had the 1 vote in season 1, and then 2 in 2.
Oh, so 3 votes. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going with 6.
Alrighty. I was at a 5 last week for Aaron. Aaron's definitely gone down this week. I'm going to a 4 for like she's not as low as Anthony, but I think if Anthony wins the veto, like maybe Bella is the backdoor target, but I think Aaron is kind of more likely. Because Bella has stayed in more of the good graces of Julia and Caitlin, and I think even Alex and Maeve at this point. And it's like I feel like Bella is more connected than Aaron. Granted, they are, I think, in a close to a similar position, which is like then why is Aaron at a 4 and Bella at a 7? It's because I want to. So yeah, like Aaron's just had a tough week. But if there's anyone that can recover from being on the bottom, it's Aaron.
I feel like that can be said though for like all of these. Like these are people who can like flip back into a good position on a dime.
But it's like, well, I think you can say that for everyone, but it's like if you have to pick one person from the past that can do it, it's Aaron.
I don't doubt that she can. So
so yeah, average of 5
with a 5 this week. She goes down from a 6. But yeah, okay. Julia was at. I hate these lines.
She's at a 6.
She was at 6 too.
6 from both of us.
Okay. Julia, I am going to stay at my 6 this week. Wait. I'm thinking. Because it's so annoying because all the Julia and Caitlin I feel like is Caitlin. I feel like all of the conversations being led are by Caitlin. Who then like goes back and discusses it with Julia. I don't know. Do you have thoughts on this?
Yes. Do you want me to give them now?
I think you know more than me, so I think you should give your thoughts, but also give my ranking first.
Okay. So my thought is Caitlin and Julia are very much a package deal at the moment.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the history of it, they are very much 2 independent thinkers in terms of like Julia will say she wants to do this for the vote, and Caitlin will say, okay, but I'm probably gonna do this. And they're like, fine, cool, well, like whatever. That's just like something to know. I think on the overarching whole, Caitlin controls the duo more. And if they were a final 2, I think Caitlin is the winner for sure. But that being said, that's not to discredit Julia in that, well, Caitlin's the doer and Julia's the follower. Because Julia is certainly a doer, and I think is possibly more well-connected because people view her as a follower. And it's like, we can fault people for not playing the big flashy game, but we have to remember that like everyone's going to fit a different piece of the puzzle here, and it's if you play into your piece, that's where you're going to thrive. And I think Julia at this point very much, like, she has clocked the people think she's a sheep, and she is actively appeasing and playing up to people that she's just on their side. For instance, James is convinced that Julia is still with him. She's not.
But she's just lying to him. Like that's not like
Okay, but like, so
she's
but
just
like,
saying yes, I'll vote with you. Like
no, that's not what she's just saying.
okay, well you keep going.
A, a straight up lie would just be like someone saying like, "Yeah, I'll vote to keep you." Oh, never mind. Like Julia consistently when she talks to people will just feed into everything they want to hear of like, I didn't know about this. This shocks me. And like people, everyone I think views on all sides right now view Julia as their number. Aaron and Anthony have all talked about like, oh yeah, I'm cool with Julia. I'm not going after her. James has said it. Alex and Juliana plan with sticking with her and Caitlyn for a while. Bella is good with Julia. Maeve is good with Julia. Like no one is down on Julia. So I do think on the overarching whole, gameplay wise, Caitlyn is certainly more on power. But I think under pretty much no circumstances, A, does Julia go home in this double or even next week? Or B, touch the block. I don't think she's anyone initial. She's not anyone's pawn this week. She's not anyone's backdoor plan this week. She's not anyone's replace. Like I just don't know who puts up Julia.
But then again, that's also the same token of just because she's not going home doesn't mean that I feel like we should give her a good ranking because in the end I don't feel like she has what it takes to win.
Yes, um, I agree with that, but I think that Julia consistently shows that she's an active thinker in the game, where Emma seems to come alive when she's on the block.
All right, well, I'm going to give my ranking. I think that I'm definitely positive and optimistic that she's kind of thinking more than I think she is. But I think I ranked her last week off of the fact that like she was in such a great middle position and like I don't know, she hasn't come from that, but I feel like I don't see her advancing that from last week. And I did say that I think that Emma's doing better. So I'm going to go to a 5, hoping that I will go up next week.
Right. Well, Steven was at a 6 last week and went to a 5. I was at a 6 last week and I'm going up to a 7.
Okay, that's fair. And that's fair.
I think Julia has absolutely advanced her middle position this week. In that before people viewed her as numbers, but now I think people are talking about like, oh yeah, like we plan to go to the end with Julia and Caitlyn. Or they are dragging her there
Exactly.
as the goat thing, but I don't think Julia is that. Like Julia's, I think,
and that's fair. And that's fair.
Will make moves before then. Like I think if Julia's in the final four, she isn't the goat.
And that's what I said. I am hoping that I will go up again, but like it's just the fact I don't know. I don't really see it right now.
Yeah, and I do think that of the people left in the game, her and Emma, I think, have the toughest time winning over a jury. Not to say that it can't be done.
Yeah.
And I do think that Julia is playing more actively and thought out and knows where she's at and is like I am just impressed with what she's doing and like she is actively doing it. So like I have to give credit there. So her average is still a 6.
Okay. Yeah, her average is 6. She stays at a 6 from last week. And next is Juliana, who was at a 4.5 last week.
Yeah, she had a 4 from me and a 5 from Steven.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay at my 5 this week for the same reason that I put Anthony at a 5, in the sense that I feel like she definitely goes home if some certain people win HOH, but she's also completely safe if some people win HOH. So that's why I gave Anthony a 5. I feel like that's why I'm gonna give Juliana a 5, and I feel like I don't know. She was one of my favorite players after ever, and after like I don't really
Oh,
know anymore. Like I feel like she's not like this season. She's not what?
you cut out for a second, then you went super speed.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you
Um, she was one of my favorite players ever in a previous season, and I feel like she's like I don't know. I don't really feel that about this season. She's still one of my favorites ever before season 5, but I don't really see it this season, and that's kind of disappointing me a little. But like I mean, I think she still has a great shot to get to the end. I feel like I want her to come. I don't really see her actively doing things like herself. I feel like she's making other people do it. I don't really like. I don't know. I also like wouldn't mind seeing her go home in the double eviction because I feel like that would be really exciting. But like, I don't know. That's it. Those are just my thoughts. And I love Juliana. This is nothing against her, obviously, but
Yeah. So in the my ranking is going to stay at a 4 for the same reason that I have Aaron at a 4. Because I think that Anthony is like numero target number 1 for the majority side of the house. But I think for the ever so slightly smaller side, I think Juliana is probably the main target. Because people, despite them being mad at Maeve for making the move and for Alex for flipping, they view them two as doing it because Juliana wants them to, and that Juliana is this big evil monster that's controlling it. Which, like, don't get me wrong, Juliana's a part of it, but it was a very like equal. Like they all have been talking about this for weeks, and Alex was like the one to like spear. Like it wasn't Juliana. So our average is still 4.5. But as for when I said we'll get to Juliana, when the game turned upside
oh
down,
yeah.
that's almost literally because let's call back to weeks 3, 4, 5.
Makes me so
We
sad.
had,
I mean,
we
not really,
had
but
Anne, and then Kate, and then Juliet, and then Grace, and it was the revolving door. And Juliana had every right to be upset in that moment because the world was against her. By that same token, the Bellas, the Anthonys, the um, I mean, who else is on the Errands? They were up on their high horse, being all like, "You can't get upset that you're just not winning right now. Like it's the game. Get over it."
yeah.
Upside down. Now Anthony and not really Aaron at all. Actually, I mean, like Aaron's complaining that she thinks it's a dumb move, but not that she's like not
It's
respecting it.
Anthony, and then Aaron's also on the side.
Yes, Anthony is the biggest whiner that things aren't going his way. To be clear, and Reza pointed this out, this is not the same thing. Anthony still has lots of numbers and lots of people that aren't targeting him and has a very good shot to stay. Whereas Juliana at that time really didn't, where it was literally 13 against 3. This is like 6 against 5. Like it's a very evenly balanced thing. The world is not against him, so quit your complaining that you're just going home. But by that same token, Juliana, now that she's on the top, is
Yeah.
the mean big baddie that she called out and hated the week before, or not the week before, like earlier. So it's like, I can't, don't get me wrong, I was certainly rooting for Juliana when she was down in the dumps with Reza, with Luke, with Grace, and they had to fight their way up. And I still am rooting for her, but not in that same, like, she's not my I want you to win pick anymore because we saw how it flips. And to be fair, it is so easy to be hypocritical.
And also, let's not forget this.
You know everything that's going on, but it's just like, girl, come on.
Let's not forget this. I mean, right now there's 11 people left, but in a few hours there'll be 9.
Yeah.
There's like not even half of the people have gone home yet. Like they were not even like halfway in through the game in terms of numbers wise. So like, I feel like there's still a lot of time for her to develop. Like, and I say this every week. Our feelings change literally by the week.
Literally like, by the week. If you cut back, like we have ripped into Emma, James, Anthony, Bella, Erin, Julia, Juliana, Caitlin, pretty much everyone except like Maeve and Reza.
Yeah.
And Emma. But like Maeve and Reza, really.
Yeah. So like I would love for her to like be the one to like turn it around again and like be the one making moves and calling the shots and then win. Like I would love for me to want her to win, but I just don't see it right now.
I don't want. There are other people that I want to win over Julia.
But that's your feeling right now. I didn't want Bella to win last week, to be clear. So
Yeah. And I would have today.
So Juliana stays at her 4.5. And moving on from hypocrisy, we move to Caitlin Powell.
I want to start this off.
And she finished with a 6 last week. A 6 from both of us?
Yes, I have 2 words for Miss Caitlin Powell. Queen shit right there. Like literally, like my personal, and I'm not giving a personal ranking. This is not a Grace Del Pizzo moment. But like personal ranking, give this girl an 11. Like just literally is like the most goodest of all the goodest people ever. And I know goodest isn't a word, but I'm making it a word for Caitlin. It's like she literally this week was a dumpster fire in terms of people being mean and
she's like,
and Caitlin was literally
washing her hands clean of everything,
sitting here on the couch, legs crossed, pull back, and is literally like, y'all are the most hypocritical people on this planet. And she, like, in her diary room, and we're like, please expand on this. Because I was like, just like curious. She was like, literally what we just said a second ago about this. She was like, well, Juliana was on the bottom and was complaining about being on the bottom, but now she's on the top and she's being all mean and mighty. But then Anthony, who was being all mean and mighty before, is now at the bottom is complaining. And X people are saying that we're sheep, but they're actually following, and these people are doing, and it's like literally called out.
He has a good read on the game too, whereas I don't see that with Julia, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can I go?
Yes, you go.
So I really don't understand your 7 with Julia, but I will give Caitlin a 7. But that's for right now is as high as I'll go on Caitlin. No, that's you.
Whoops. Wait, why is it blue? That's so annoying.
Because I don't know.
I do also feel more strongly on Caitlin than Julia. And I think that Caitlin, like earlier when you said that you think Bella and Emma could flip to either side of the house, I don't necessarily think that because I don't think that people want to necessarily work with Bella. They're also just not focused on her. I think Caitlin is the one that can flip to Bella and Emma or Alex and Maeve or Reza and Juliana. Now, like before where she wasn't the one talking to everyone, like now she's in everyone's pockets. And it's like people think they like Julia's the one that they think they have control over more. But then with that becomes Julia and Caitlin. And then I think Caitlin is the power player that's going to make the moves to get herself to the win to the end. So I'm going to go up to an 8 for Caitlin.
Okay, that's fair.
And like again, if you show me positivity, that will reflect.
It always helps. My Caitlin is currently our highest for the week right now.
Which, like, I think, in my opinion, deservedly shows. She's the one person who walked out, I think, completely scotch-free.
Definitely deservedly.
With an active, good game.
So Reza last week finished with a 6 also. Do you want to go first on Reza?
Yeah, I can. Reza, like, literally, I was sitting here today, and I was like, oh, yeah, Reza's in the game. Like, literally, hands down, just, like, and, like, even, like, when the nominations, like, when Maeve won the veto, like, talked to Alex, it was like, hey, so, like, are we gonna, like, hope, like, tell Maeve, like, we want Bella gone? And it's like, I feel like Reza this week kind of became, like, a little disconnected. I don't know if he was busy or whatever. Not that he's in, like, a worse or a better position because of it, but, like, I don't know. I will say I feel similarly that he is one of the I think fewer, actually maybe not fewer, because, like, if you look at it, some people have gone way up, people have gone way down. Do I think that he's done anything active to advance his game? No. Do I think his game has advanced? Yes. And it's in a very similar way of season 3 of now, like, again, no one's targeting him. A lot of people value him as an ally. So I can't go to the upper tiers of scores because I don't think it's active. But he is, I think, in a better position than he was last week. So do you want me to get my ranking? I mean, I practically...
I'm going to stay at my 6. I have the same feelings.
Okay. So, yeah, you're at a 6 for Reza. I'm going to go to a 7. Okay. I feel positively. And again, like, I don't see... 6.5. In the same way of Julia, I don't see any way that he really touches the block or is targeted. Except maybe Bella. But, like, Bella and Reza are kind of like their own entity of, like, each other's targets, maybe.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think Rez is kind of dropping him back into the shadows a little bit, which I don't necessarily like, but like
I know I don't love it for endgame stuff, but again, there is still time.
there's still a lot of time left. I agree. So Reza finishes with a 6.5 this week. You want to go through the top scores?
Yeah, so our winner of the week is Miss Caitlin Powell. I think this is her first time sitting at the top of the leaderboard.
Anywhere
And
near
it's
the
also,
top, I think.
I think, one of the first people to like be in a red zone before and then be like, where's her
If you
line?
look at Caitlin, she starts right here. She goes up a little bit, then just like mainly goes down. She
Like in week
plummets.
5, she would have been in the red zone.
Yeah. Then she goes up, and
She's been on an upward climb ever
now
since.
she's making big like steps up and steps. Yeah.
And like this is the Caitlyn from season 1
Yeah.
that
This is what we're
we're
going to see.
starting to see again. If she wins this double HOH, which has already happened, like keep in mind, one of these other people is out of the game, and we don't
Yeah,
know
I
who.
know.
So like that's what's also crazy. If I had to put my money on it, I would say it's Anthony, Juliana, Alex, or Bella. I think it's one of those 4. I don't know.
Those are 4 of the 10 people.
I know.
I can't
It's gonna be
remember.
next week, and it's gonna be like Julia. You are.
We're gonna have 9 people after tonight.
Yeah, that's it. Like this is now.
There's
This
also
is
like this already doesn't look like a lot of people.
yeah.
Like, in this format, it doesn't look like a lot of people.
Compared to how we started.
Next time.
Anyway. Yes. Also, still at the top. Oh, Bella.
Yeah.
Yay. Bella is in the yellow.
Mhm.
And then I guess so many people are tired that I'm not going to put them in the top tier, but Maeve, Alex, and Reza are technically the next people that are out
Yeah.
there. Which I don't know if in hindsight, I don't know if I agree that Maeve and Alex are in that top tier position. But then down at the bottom of the leaderboard, naturally, James, it's pretty safe to say at this point, it's 100% chance he's going home.
Yeah.
The eviction is in all of 3 hours, and there is no sign of anything happening.
There's nothing. There's nothing you can do.
Like it will be a unanimous vote, I think. I hope that he will come to respect the move, and I think he will. And like he and Maeve have talked, and like they know nothing's personal. Like no one's taking this personally.
Yeah.
Which like that makes me feel good. One sec.
I guess I'll entertain while Scott is talking. Yeah, so we have today's day 34. There's only 15 to 16 days left before the winner's crowned. Very exciting. Okay, Scott's back.
Yeah, James.
A little over 2 weeks left.
And then also down on the bottom, Anthony, which I think is also fitting. Like he dumpster fired his game this week. And then down there in third to last is Erin, and Emma's right behind her there. So that's where we're at currently.
Hold on. Wait, keep talking.
Yeah, that's how we're at currently. Game
2
literally.
weeks. Sorry, wait. Yeah, no, I'm ready now. So in the time that it's gonna be from now into finale night is the same amount of time since David was evicted.
Yeah, like it's about to speed.
Close. So yeah, that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an exciting finish, I think.
I think it will be an exciting finish. And I'm excited for how, like, let alone the people, this is what a good season looks like. It's literally 5 duos. This is what a good season looks like, not a 13-3. Like, I hope everyone understands that we weren't upset that it was Juliana, Reza, Grace, and Luke that were being
I
targeted.
think we said enough times too, yeah.
It's because of the state of the game. It was boring. This is no longer boring. Anyone could go home, and it's no longer boring. So that's where we are. So I'm back. The jury phase has been an exciting, positive game.
All right, so that's all we have. The eviction is in a little under 3 hours.
And then another one too. Like literally 2 people. We don't know who.
With the double eviction. But that's all. So yeah, we'll see you whenever the next rankings is.
Saturday? It won't be for a while because we have like the New Year's breaks.
I think it's Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's sad. I think it's Saturday too.
All right, see you guys then.